Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mayor of Baltimore, President, United States Conference of Mayors, Stephanie Rawlings Blake.
It is now my sincere honor to introduce the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. We can clap for her. Not yet. Give me a second. I got a few things to say about her before she comes out. I appreciate that, though. In 2010, Ms. Obama came to this winter meeting to highlight the role that mayors can play promoting child nutrition and fitness through her Let's Move initiative. Our Conference of Mayors has led on this issue for the last several years. We have fought for proactive federal nutrition policies, built local food economies, and promoted best practices on child nutrition and physical fitness. Today, Mrs. Obama is with us to discuss another national issue that must be a priority for all levels of government: ending veteran homelessness. Those who serve our nation do not simply deserve our thanks. We owe them our support. Our organization has long focused on reducing all homelessness and supporting our nation's veterans. The dedication of the First Lady that she has shown on this issue is inspiring, and I want to sincerely thank her for her continued partnership with America's mayors. Please join me in welcoming back to the U.S. Conference of Mayors our First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. You all rest yourselves. You work hard. You deserve to sit a little bit. I'm glad it's warm in here. Well, good morning, everyone. It is beyond a pleasure to be here with you for your 2016 winter meeting. I want to start by thanking Mayor Rawlings Blake for that very kind introduction, but more importantly for her outstanding service to her city and to this nation. Absolutely. I also want to recognize your other terrific leaders, Mayor Landrieu and Mayor Cornett, who I saw earlier. You guys, thank you so much. I see so many familiar faces, so many mayors and local leaders we worked with over the years, because when it comes to our toughest problems and our most important policies, you all are often the first people we call. You are the ones dealing with these issues on the ground every day, and so often you're already leading the way. As Mayor Rawlings Blake just said, when we launched Let's Move to address childhood obesity, you all were out there building bike paths and playgrounds and serving healthier food in your schools. When we started Reach Higher, our initiative to inspire young people to pursue higher education, you all stepped up to host college signing days for high school seniors. And when it comes to joining forces, our initiative to honor our service members, our veterans, and their families, so many of you have been hitting it out the park for years, helping vets and their spouses find employment, supporting our military kids, and working to ensure that every veteran in this country has a place to call home. And that's exactly what I want to talk with you about today. I want to talk about the work that you've already done and the work that lies ahead for our veterans, particularly on the issue of homelessness. Now, as you all know, the overwhelming majority of our veterans come home and they pick up right where they left off, as leaders in their workplaces, as pillars of their families and communities. But others aren't so lucky. For generations, too many of our veterans from Korea and Vietnam to Iraq and Afghanistan have fallen on hard times and wound up with nowhere to call home. I know we can all agree that this is an absolute outrage. It is a horrifying stain on our nation, particularly when you think about all that these men and women have done for our country. We all know the stresses that military life can put on them and their families, how they often have to move from base to base every few years, how they dealt with multiple deployments, leaving their spouses to juggle things at home for months on end. And then long after they return home and hang up their uniforms, some of them wind up dealing with the visible and invisible wounds of war. And despite everything these folks have done for this country, too often the powerful truth of their service and sacrifice gets lost in all the noise. These days, we hear a lot of folks arguing and debating about the threats our country faces, and they're real, but we must remember that after all that talk, it's our men and women in uniform who are the ones that head to the front lines and actually walk the walk. They're the ones out there doing the dangerous and heroic work of keeping us safe. So again, I think we can all agree that if a single veteran returns home and doesn't have a roof over his or her head, that is an affront to everything this country stands for. Because no one who's worn this country's uniform should ever have to spend a single night, even a single hour, out on our streets. And that's why, since launching the Mayor's Challenge to End Veterans Homelessness nearly 2 years ago, more than 800 leaders have signed up. Through this challenge, we set a clear and incredibly ambitious goal to end veteran homelessness in your communities by the end of 2015. And once that goal was set, you all got to work. And let me just say, I am blown away by what you all have achieved, truly. In Syracuse, Mayor Minor pulled together folks from all across the city, from government, social service agencies, nonprofits, and she built a team that identifies and houses homeless vets in just 45 days. In Las Vegas, Mayor Goodman rallied governors and mayors from across the region to participate in the challenge, and her team created a list of every homeless veteran in her city. And they enlisted partners to canvass neighborhoods every week to find and house the folks on that list. In just 2 years, communities of all sizes and all parts of this country have met the goal you set, and they've ended veterans' homelessness. Small cities like Biloxi, Mississippi, and Rockford, Illinois, they've done it. Big cities like Philadelphia, New Orleans, Houston, they've done it. And the entire state of Virginia, they did it too. That's good stuff. In just the last year alone, you all have helped more than 157,000 veterans and their families secure or remain in permanent housing. So you have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that every single community, large and small, rural and urban, every kind of community in America can end veterans' homelessness. Now, did we meet the goal to solve this problem by the end of last year? No, we didn't. But do we regret having set that goal? Absolutely not. I am proud to have stood with you to set the goal, and I'm proud that you all took the risk and made yourselves publicly accountable for solving this problem. And I stand here today feeling even more inspired, even more confident in our ability to solve this problem once and for all. See, because when you set ambitious goals, you create a sense of urgency, and then you start taking ambitious action. And even if you fall short at first, you've started to create the momentum you need to ultimately succeed. That's what's happened in San Antonio, where USAA just pledged $2.1 million to fund local nonprofits that are working to end veterans' homelessness. Because often when city leaders step up, businesses and nonprofits will be right there beside them. And as mayors strive to meet our goal, we're seeing that kind of partnership, that kind of momentum all across the country. Just take the example of Los Angeles. Now, LA has the largest homeless population in this country, but that didn't stop Mayor Garcetti from boldly committing himself and his city to this challenge. So far, they found permanent housing for over 5,500 veterans. And in September, yes, in September, Mayor Garcetti announced that LA is committing an extra $100 million to ending homelessness. He's also enlisted Wells Fargo as a corporate partner. He's forged relationships with landlords across the city. He's rallying the public to chip in with donations. So while LA might have the biggest problem, Mayor Garcetti isn't getting discouraged. Instead, he's making the biggest investment to find a solution in his city. And as he put it, yes, one of the things he said, and this is his quote, he said, "We will not stop until the men and women who have served and protected our country have a place to call home." So I'm not just here today to celebrate the extraordinary cities and mayors who've met the goal we set nearly 2 years ago. I'm also here to celebrate every city that still has work to do, but has refused to give up and has committed to trying even harder. Because none of us, even those who've met the goal, none of us are ever really finished with this challenge. As long as Americans serve in harm's way, we'll always have new veterans transitioning to civilian life who just might need our support. And a veteran in your community who's doing just fine today could fall on hard times tomorrow. So let's be clear. Your work is not finished on the day you have a home for every veteran in your city. Mayor Landrieu of New Orleans knows that. His city became the first major city to end veteran homelessness last year. I had a chance to go to New Orleans and celebrate with his phenomenal team. But Mayor Landrieu didn't just declare victory and move on. No, he kept his city's rapid response system running at full force. And they continue their nightly homeless veteran searches. And since their official announcement, New Orleans has housed an additional 156 veterans. So when it comes to ending veterans' homelessness, we can't just check the box and move on. We need to keep on solving this problem every single day by moving forward. That's why you all just launched a new task force on veterans' homelessness, which is holding its first meeting this week. And I want to commend Mayor Rawlings Blake for her leadership in creating this bipartisan task force, as well as co-chairs Mayor Giles and Mayor Landrieu. You all, thank you so much for that great work, what you all are doing. See, these leaders know that solutions to this problem are right here in this room, right now. And it is so important for you all to keep coming together at events like this to share best practices and good ideas. Because your peers have provided you all with a roadmap for how to get this done. Whether you're a big city, a small county, or an entire state, someone just like you has done it. So today, no one can ever again doubt that it's possible and that we know that we can solve this problem. And now that we know, we have no excuse for falling short. So we need to keep pushing forward until we are no longer asking, how do we achieve this goal? But instead we're asking, how have we not? That's the very least that we can do for our men and women in uniform. These folks risk their lives for us. And in return, all they ask for is a chance to get back on their feet, find their next mission, and keep on serving the country they love. Just take the story of Matthew Smith from Los Angeles. Growing up, Matthew was always the responsible one, looking out for his brothers and sisters, doing everything he could to take some of the burden off of his single mother. Then he enlisted in the Army because he wanted to serve and protect
and welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hassan Rashid, and I'll be here with you for about approximately 10 more minutes. We gave First Lady Michelle Obama a little extra time to convey her message, and that was concerning veteran homelessness and the need for it to be totally eradicated like it has been done in several other of our American cities. So we're going to try to get back to that again, but before we run out of time, some more of that presentation by First Lady on the Mayor's Challenge or Conference on Veteran Homelessness. And she mentioned several cities, well, a number of cities, over 200, I think she referred to, that had joined the challenge to end veterans' homelessness. Well, unfortunately, Cambridge wasn't one of them. And I addressed the city council about it, and I didn't get any answers. Says, why haven't you joined the First Lady's challenge to end veterans' homelessness, et cetera, et cetera? And I did not get an answer for that one. But I'll tell you, though, Newton, our neighbor, just a little ways from here, has joined, took on the challenge to end veterans' homelessness, and I think so has Boston, Massachusetts. And by the way, Newton has just got a AAA bond rating. Okay, once again, I'm Hassan Rashid, and we're going to have to shorten the broadcast because we gave First Lady so much time. But I want to, well, I had another video for you, and I had some highlights that I wanted to share with you, but I'll just have to shorten the program. But I want to bring to your attention that the governor's budget will fully fund human service rate increases. Governor Charlie Baker on Tuesday said his budget will fully fund pay raises for state contracted human service providers established under a 2008 law, providing yet another glimpse into the annual spending plan he will release. That's today. He released this plan today. The annual spending plan. So I guess the human service budget now, which was called the salary reserve, won't continue to be just a one-time thing. It will be put into law as an annual budget item. Okay, so they're going to get funded. That's the human service providers annually, every year, part of what they call the salary reserve. I can tell you point blank that we made a commitment during the campaign that we were going to fully fund Chapter 257, and we made a decision early on as an administration to fund it in our original budget filings, and we're going to fully fund it again in our official 2017 budget. Baker said at the luncheon hosted at the State House by the Association of Development Disability Providers, where the association honored the governor with the elected officials of the year. So I congratulate the governor on that, doing that task. Okay, I said, okay, state salary release salary reserve information, because that's the name of it. But we didn't get to that fully this time, but there's always a next time. I want to get to this other video before we go off the air, and it also it's a presentation on homelessness, and I want you to see this one. This is another touching and sensitive video on homelessness.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. Nobody likes homelessness. I'm very controversial. Least of all the homeless. But what can be done? Salt Lake City, Utah has a plan that will blow your mind. Hassan Minhaj reports.
Across America, new and innovative ways to alleviate homelessness are being introduced, like banning the homeless because of body odor, fining them for sleeping outdoors, and arresting them for sitting down. But Salt Lake City, Utah has taken the next step by removing the homeless from their streets altogether.
Sir, have you seen any homeless people?
Nope.
Have you seen a single person living in a cardboard box?
No, sorry.
Where the hell did they put everybody? To find out, I sat down with the director of this initiative, Lloyd Pendleton.
We have reduced our chronic homeless count by 72% since 2005.
Did you hide them underground?
We did not hide the homeless people underground.
Did you convert them from Mormon to gay?
We did not convert them from Mormon to gay, or gay to Mormon.
So how did they do it?
We did it by giving homes to homeless people.
You did what?
We gave homes to the homeless. Yes, it's simple. You give them housing, and you end homelessness.
That's right. As part of a program called Housing First, Salt Lake City is just giving apartments to the homeless.
You gave a homeless person.
A home.
Okay, so you gave a home to a homeless person, but that still makes them homeless.
No, they're housed. Because when you're homeless, you do not have a home. That's what the word means, homeless.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I saw the movie Interstellar, and that makes more sense than what you're saying.
Well, you may think I'll be adding up, but it adds up to us.
Sure, giving homeless people homes sounds like a good idea, just like feeding people and providing health care sounds like a good idea. But everyone knows we just can't afford it.
22% of Americans are currently receiving some kind of government entitlement. That's 67 million people. And the truth is, we can't afford it.
What do all of these handouts cost the good, hardworking people of Utah?
These handouts cost probably $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000 per person housed,
There you go.
compared with $20,000 a year on the street.
Wait, what?
What we give them is more effective and efficient than the emergency system of emergency room visits, EMT runs, and jail time.
But I feel like you're just giving them a home.
Yes.
Okay, so it makes financial sense. But the fact is, it's going to make them lazy.
They disincentivize you to get off welfare and actually go and work.
I'll get my rent paid. I'll get food. Why would I work?
Why would I work when the government pays me not to work? Why indeed?
What you guys are doing is incentivizing mooching.
We don't see them as moochers. We see them as people in great need of some support to fulfill their life.
It's almost as if Pendleton sees the poor and homeless as actual people. This was getting complicated, so I went to visit one of these moochers in their moochatorium.
This apartment has given me a job. With that job, I can move back to Chicago and be with my son, my daughter, and my family.
Do you see how this is a slippery slope? Doesn't it seem that you're totally dependent now on four walls and having a roof over your head?
Yes.
You're never gonna want to sleep on concrete ever again.
Why would I want to sleep on concrete? I didn't want to do it when I was out there.
But if you just give people these apartments, the next thing you know, everyone's gonna want to be poor.
No one wants to be poor. Everybody needs a hand sometime.
This was getting a bit confusing. If you're a poor person, you're supposed to look like this. But this guy has a job, an apartment, and general self-esteem.
The image we have of poor people as starving and living in squalor really is not accurate. Many of them have things.
99% of them have a refrigerator. 81% have a microwave. 78% have air conditioning.
What? So they're eating food that's been chilled and then heated? They're not supposed to be like us.
Russell, they gave you a panini press?
Oh, I think I bought that.
Now I'm totally lost. We've given him a home. He's gotten his life back together. He's become a productive member of society. And it's costing us less?
So what's the catch?
What is the catch?
Yes, there has to be a catch. Is this like a homeless timeshare?
They don't have to have a timeshare fee every year. It's very simple. It works.
So if you see a homeless person, don't feel bad. Know that they can get a second shot at life. All they have to do is live in Utah.
Hasan Minhaj, we'll be right back.
Okay, that was another touching video on homelessness. I got another short item to share with you before we leave the air, and hopefully try to get back to First Lady Michelle Obama. Law ends practice of sending addicted women to state prison. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker front pauses before signing a bill as Mass Secretary of Health and Human Services Mary Lou Sudders left. Okay, this is the photo, but we don't have that to share with you. Massachusetts is ending its long-standing practice of sending women with alcohol or substance abuse problems, but who have committed no crimes, to the state prison for women in Framingham. Once again, congratulations, Massachusetts, for helping the women folks out, okay? I'm Hassan Rashid. You know, always leave me with the fact that you're keeping those clean, play it straight, and don't forget to assist those who are in need of your help. Until next time, I leave you with the greetings of peace. So once again, keep your nose clean, play it straight so that you can be successful.
Protect the country just like he protected his siblings. But then in his 3rd year of service, Matthew's grandfather passed away, and while he was home for the funeral, he was caught in the crossfire of a gang shootout. Matthew spent 6 months in the hospital, and when he emerged with his discharge papers and chronic pain from his injuries, he found himself adrift and alone. Matthew's life fell apart, turned to drugs, wound up living on the streets. But after 24 long, hard years, Matthew finally checked himself into the New Directions for Veterans Center. And today, not only is Matthew in permanent housing, and not only has he gotten treatment for his substance abuse, but Matthew is a husband. He is a father. He's a preacher. He's a 3-time Employee of the Month, and best of all, he's working to help his fellow veterans. As a resident services coordinator with the same organization where he sought help, it's now Matthew's job to advocate for other veterans. Yes. He is